Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Album Spotlight. This is the show where I put the spotlight on a new album in progressive rock that I think you guys should check out if you have similar tastes to me. And I love to shine a spotlight on lesser known artists who people may not have heard of, but they should. Artists that deserve wider attention. I did a review this past week of Steven Wilson's new album, Harmony Codex, which probably doesn't need any additional spotlight because he's so well known in the prog space. Everyone is already familiar with his works and is already going to check out that album regardless of how I talk about it. But today I have an interesting, more independent band that isn't as well known and that I want to bring to people's attention. I'm really excited to talk about it. This is the band Advent Horizon, and their new album is called A Cell to Call Home, which comes out tomorrow, October 6th. I wanted to put out this review right before the release to give you guys a taste and a feel for what to expect from the record, and then hopefully let you guys go and check it out tomorrow when it releases on all the different platforms. You can go out and check it out on streaming, or you can order it from the band. They have CDs and vinyl available as well. But this is a band that's new to me. I saw one of their singles pop up on Facebook randomly, checked it out, and was blown away by it. It's actually the opening track of this album called Water. And I was so excited about it, I reached out to the band and they were nice enough to give me a copy of the album to listen to and to review. And they've just been really incredible. So I wanted to give them a spotlight and to shine a light on this new band that's become quickly one of my favorite bands that I've been listening to this year. And this could place as one of my favorite all-time albums, one of my favorite albums of the year, certainly. So I'm really excited to talk about it. It's hard to describe what they're like, really, because there's so many different things all combined into one unique, interesting stew of music, because they have a little touchstone of the prog metal side, like you'd expect from bands like Haken and Dream Theater, but they don't totally go into a heavy metal direction. You know, they just have tinges of it throughout, but they definitely have more of a heavy prog inspiration, maybe something like Rush you can hear in their soundscape, but they take in a lot of other rock influences from bands like Led Zeppelin, from, you know, maybe some more blues-based rock as well, like the Black Keys or something of that nature. They pay homage to some of the classic prog stuff, but it also sounds very modern and fresh. And to me, this is the music I really love because it focuses on the songs first. It gives you strong melodies, great earworms, hooks that stick into your brain for days, but surround that with a lot of progressive flair and flavor. It's a really fascinating stew of different things happening in the mixture. It's just a really addictive listen for me because every track is memorable and has a hook that just sticks in my brain. It keeps you on your toes and leads to a fascinating listen. And there's a lot of variety on the record. They dip their toes into several different styles, into, like I said, some prog metal with the opening track Water, so maybe some blues classic rock like in How Did It Get So Good, even some folk and country flavors on Your Flaws, some jazz and funk perhaps on Truth and Control, and some full-blown prog like in Calling It Off. There's just so many different flavors and varieties throughout the album that you're never bored. You always have something to grab your ear and keep your attention. And that's what I love in music, is adventurous music that's willing to blur the lines between different genres and different things. That's what they do so expertly, and it's all grounded by this incredible vocal performance, just these sublime vocal hooks and harmonies that really lead the way throughout the album. That's one of my favorite features is the vocal work that they perform here. The vocals are done by Riley McDonald, just a fantastic singer, fantastic way that the vocals are arranged and come across in the album. It's a great through line that keeps you grounded and focused on the songs first. And I really appreciate that throughout the album. So it starts off with Water, which opens with these majestic keys and atmospherics before you get these heavier, crunching guitars. It's a great blend between the heavier prog / metal side of the equation and these sublime pop vocal harmonies as well. I love the instrumental section with an expressive guitar solo leading into a big anthemic section with these big vocal harmonies. It's just a great epic way to start the album and gives you right up front what you can expect from the group, melding this heavier prog style with these sublime poppy hooky vocals. I really loved that track, and it just really sucked me into the band right off the bat. Snow Child is a small ethereal keyboard solo piece that leads you right away from Water and into the next track, How Did It Get So Good, which features Randy McStein. Great bright acoustic guitar and melodious vocal melodies with some atmospheric keys in the back. It gets a bit more rocking as it continues, as you add powerful drums and guitar soloing through, and it morphs halfway through into this killer guitar riff and a harder rock edge, and gets heavier and proggier as it continues, as we get keyboard and guitar solos over a proggy backbeat. So this is one of the highlight tracks. It's a fun track to listen to. Never sacrifices those great vocal hooks, but gives you a lot to chew on musically with all these heavier moments, with these great bright acoustic sounds. It's just a wonderful classic song that I really love. Rain on Open Water is a bit more of an accessible song, great anthemic rock with guitars ringing out over a strong backbeat. Love the vocal melody and harmonies once again, and the verses and pre-chorus leading to a huge, big catchy hook that grabs your attention. Just a great feel-good rock song with plenty of great guitar hooks throughout the track. Then we get Your Flaws, which takes things in a different direction, which features Dave Meros on bass. This is more of an acoustic track, more a folky, maybe even a country tinge to it. Folky singer-songwriter vibe, perhaps. It has some female vocals on it, with male vocals as well for a bit of a duet feel. Really interesting, busy bass work behind this piece from Dave Meros. Just a really gorgeous, uplifting track that just sounds totally beautiful, and is another highlight, another beautiful piece that showcases the band's penchant for just beautiful melodies. Truth is an interesting track which leans more into maybe a jazzier direction, with a jazzy keyboard sound and a killer vocal hook before the heavier guitars and female vocals add another layer to the sound. You get an almost funky groove to this track. There's a great acoustic breakdown in the middle with some acoustic guitar, jazzy keys, and blues guitar licks with breezy vocal harmonies on top. It's just a beautiful mix and another wonderful track. Calling It Off is a great track that features Jordan Rudess. This is one of the big prog tracks to me. You get this big epic opening that leads to this addictive melodic vocal line. You get these big epic prog instrumental sections throughout the piece. You even get this fantastic extended keyboard solo from Jordan Rudess toward the end. One of the biggest, most strong prog moments of the album, certainly, with some incredible playing, and it ends with those sublime vocal harmonies over a acoustic guitar. Just a beautiful ending to an incredible track which showcases all of their proggy chops. Control is another jazzier track with maybe a Fender Rhodes type jazzier keyboard sound, with another great vocal hook. Some light electronic drums come down before some heavy guitar bursts add some weight to the track. Great swirling vocal harmonies in a later section. There's even some sax soloing, which brings to mind a bit of a King Crimson style vibe towards the end of the track. So really fascinating influences once again, leading into Maybe, which is a breezy, beautiful ballad featuring an amazing vocal performance, going into some beautiful falsetto into the vocals as well. There's a beautiful instrumental part towards the end with some sweetly plucked acoustic guitar and gentle piano. Just a really beautiful little track, leading into a bit of the epic of the album, a 10-minute piece called Cell to Call Home, the title track. Atmospheric synth washes and affected guitars give an ambient start to this piece before the heavy prog comes in full force. This leads to some acoustic guitar and heavenly vocal lines, a great anthemic chorus and swirling vocal harmonies. There's a soaring guitar solo that feels a bit David Gilmour-esque in its feel, getting more virtuosic as it goes. And this track continues with some great epic moments that flirt with prog, classic rock, and metal, and returns back to that acoustic guitar and singing before it finalizes on that anthemic chorus. Just a wonderful track, a great culmination of what's come before, and one of the highlights of the record as well. I keep saying that because every track is a highlight in its own way. And then it closes with another fantastic track called Hold Me, which is a bit of a ballad. These clean guitar lines lead to some more beautiful singing. Acoustic guitar and drums are added. There's just so much beautiful instrumentation, but it still switches it up a little bit with a high-octane proggy instrumental workout, leading to more sublime vocal harmonies towards the end. So another fantastic piece, closing out a fantastic record. Just every track hits hard for me. I love the variety on display. You get some big prog moments, but you get a lot of beautiful vocal melodies You get some funk elements, some jazz elements, you get a bit of a folky type vibe to certain tracks, and it's just a beauty and wonder to behold, this great album. This is I believe their third full-length studio album, so they have a couple albums behind them, but this is the first one that came to my attention, and hearing it through, I just had to share it. It's been hard to hold it this long, but I wanted to make sure I didn't do the album review too long before the release, because I didn't want people to forget about it before they actually could go out and hear it. So I thought this would make a lot of sense to put out the review. You can really get excited about it and be interested in what I'm saying, and then be able to go out and check it out tomorrow when it's released in its full entirety. So there's definitely some singles out if you look them up. They have a couple tracks that they've released, so if you want to get a feel for the sound and music before it officially comes out, I would encourage you. This is a fantastic record. Don't sleep on this one. It's one of my favorites of the year, as I mentioned. I think they knocked it out of the park here with a beautiful release that focuses on the songs first, has some great vocal melodies and hooks that draw you in, but then enough prog flourishes around it to keep your interest and to give you a lot to sink your teeth into. So, wonderful job. So grateful for the band and for them reaching out to me, and I hope them all the best success as they continue on. I have my vinyl copy on order. I had to order it immediately because I have to have a copy of one of my favorite albums of the year, so excited to get that one in and to listen to it all over again on a different format. So thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you'll check out the record and support the artist here. Well worth checking out, and I'm excited to continue to talk about them and hopefully hear you guys talk about them in the comments as you discover them. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll hopefully catch you in another episode. Bye everybody!